Mic check one, mic check two. If you are watching this live stream back on the replay, take advantage of the chapters and skip ahead to the start of the show. I'm still setting up and giving people time to tune in. Woo. We here, guys. Old Tesla, old Tesla. That's what we covering tonight. Boy, oh boy. Woo. Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. What does that say? We don't need that there. That look weird. There we go. We got that fixed. Yeah, guys, let's get this set up. I'm here. I'm on time. We starting the show at 11. I'm a little early. That's what the plan is. We're going to get here a little early so we can start at 11 and not be setting up at 11. Give you guys time to tune in. So let's see. Let's get this set up. Ooh, Tesla. And thank you guys so much for subscribing and liking and supporting the channel. It is doing very, very well. I actually covered SpaceX twice. Those videos are starting to pick up some more traction because SpaceX is tanking. And I had already been talking about that like 2 or 3 weeks ago. And I guess now people are searching the internet trying to find answers like what's going on and why is this and why is that? So guys, I did a little research, and that video, I'll tell you a little bit about it. The video says this is how much SpaceX, where is that title, would have to gain to match Amazon's IPO value. So basically it was an interview that I had watched, and an analyst was saying that if you had got in early on Amazon when it first IPO'd, this is how much money you would have been able to make. When I ran those same numbers on SpaceX, based off what she was talking about, the valuation for SpaceX would have to go in the quadrillions to be able to match that. That video breaks it down. It's a great video. I think the link is down in the description. If not, it's definitely on the channel. You should check it out. It's a really good video. I go right through the data. I show you where the numbers are. Like, look at this, look at this, look at that. And wow, boy, oh boy. Yeah, it's something. So we got the earnings set up. Yep. We got all our tickers for tonight. We got that. I hope you guys had an awesome day in the market. I hope you had an awesome day in life. My day was cool. I caught up on some rest. The market kicked my tail, but it usually does that on Wednesdays anyway. Like I said, if I could take Wednesday out the week, boy, I'd be all right. If I could just take Wednesday out of there, guys. Oh, yep. And one notable mention for tonight, SMCI, they jumped up after their earnings they had yesterday, like $5. They were trading at $20, like $24, $25 before they announced their earnings yesterday. And they hit the market today at $30 or $31 a share. So yeah, they doing all right. They doing all right. I think Dell was able to benefit from that as well, because it showed how much in demand those racks, those data racks are as far as like for AI, because SMCI had a back order log that was in the billions. I don't remember the exact number, but that is what made their earnings like big, like a big deal. Like, man, look how many orders they already have. They haven't even filled yet and things like that. So I know that Dell is a direct competitor of theirs. So if somebody looked at it like that, well, if SMCI got this many orders, then Dell got to be getting orders too. I think they probably benefited from their earnings coming out, I think. But yeah, guys, it is 11, so we can go ahead and get started. So here we go. Welcome to Market Recap Live. I am your host, Joseph Martin. Thank God. Oh, thank God. It is Wednesday, guys. It is Wednesday. And tonight we are taking a look at ticker TSLA. You might know them better as Tesla. Tesla Incorporated was founded in 2003 by Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpening, with the first office opening in San Carlos, California. Elon Musk joined the Tesla company in 2004, becoming a majority shareholder, and later he went on to become the CEO in 2008. Now they're publicly traded on the NASDAQ and have a market value over $1 trillion. Yes, that's T, trillion dollars. Tesla is in the automobile industry in the consumer discretionary sector, and they are listed in the S&P 500 index. Some of Tesla's competitors are Ford Motor Company, ticker F, General Motors, ticker GM, and Rivian Automotive, ticker RIVN. We're going to review Tesla's earnings, their website, and pull up the charts to perform a quick technical analysis. But before we do that, let's do our roll call and check our stream poll. We are streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and X. Let's get this chat going and tell us where you're tuning in from. Put a YT in the chat if you're tuning in from YouTube, and put an FB in the chat if you're tuning in from Facebook. Wait a minute, guys. I'm distracted. Give me 1 second. I forgot to open up this chat. I just launched it. I don't see it. We need our social stream ninja pulled up. There we go. I was trying to do it and keep going. It wasn't working for me. Like one thing at a time, one thing at a time. So let me make sure you guys can hear it, and I don't have my fan on. I'm about to start sweating. Give me 1 second. I moved a little too fast. I seen it was 11. I'm like, okay, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. It's 11. Let's go. All right, let's do this test. Got it. Let me turn this down a little bit and let me cut my fan on, and we're going to pick this right back up. Woo. All right, we're good. Let me delete these. Delete. All right. And let me take me off the screen right quick while I do this. I'll be right back. Ooh, give me this fan. Oh, there we go. That's better. That is a lot better. That's a lot better. All right. So we're doing our roll call. Let's get this chat going and tell us where you're tuning in from. Put a YT in the chat if you're tuning in from YouTube, FB for Facebook, and an X for X. While you guys are filling up the stream and the chat, here's the mission statement. We are building a community over here for people who want to take control of their financial situation by learning how to unlock the wealth building power of the stock market. And we are streaming Monday through Friday following trading sessions at 11 p.m. Eastern Time. The U.S. stock market regular trading hours are 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Time, and there's a link for the New York Stock Exchange calendar down in the description. All right, let's get to it. Let's get to these earnings. Bam, bam, bam. Ooh, I love it when the plan comes together. Guys, let's get it. Tesla Incorporated, ticker symbol TSLA, the $1.4 trillion company, reported its second quarter 2026 earnings on Wednesday, July 22nd. They have a 52-week high of $498.83, which took place on December 22nd, and a 52-week low of $297.82 that occurred on August 1st, which is a trading range of... Oh, guys. Oh, no. Don't tell me this thing did this to me. Oh. Yeah, yep, it did it. Now, all these days we've been doing these earnings, guys, ain't nothing been wrong with this script. Nothing. And here we go today. It want to act up. Boy, it's too good to be true. Give me 1 second. Let me reload this. So first, I'm hot. What was the other thing? We had a chat going, and now the script want to act a fool today. Had it loaded, ready to go, and all of that, and it's got certain parts missing out of it. Oh my, nope, not today. You're not gonna do this today. Hit that like button and subscribe. I'm gonna ask you anyway. Even with this life happening, gotta keep showing up and keep doing what you gotta do anyway. Things happen. Keep rolling. Keep going. All right, now let's check to see if that section is fine in the earnings now, which was a trading range. We got August 1st. Let's see if it's missing. which is a trading range of 201. It closed today at Tesla earnings report, beat on the top line. Okay, as far as I know, it looked like it's fine. So we starting this earnings over from the top, all right? I should have known something was up because the ticker wasn't there. I just knew what the ticker was, so I said it. So let's go ahead and get this started one more time from the top. Tesla Incorporated, ticker symbol TSLA, the $1.4 trillion company, reported its second quarter 2026 earnings on Wednesday, July 22nd. They have a 52-week high of $498.83, which took place on December 22nd, and a 52-week low of $297.82 that occurred on August 1st, which is a trading range of $201.01. And they closed today at $374.01. Tesla earnings report beat on the top line, reporting revenue of $28.2 billion, which was higher than the market expectations of $25.5 billion. And they missed on the bottom line as increased research and development spending offset higher vehicle sales. EPS was lower than the analysts and market expectations of 54 cents when they reported an adjusted EPS of 32 cents. Tesla reported a GAAP net income of $1.1 billion, which is lower than the $1.2 billion net income they reported this same quarter last year. This represents a decrease of 5.1%. So for the second fiscal quarter of 2025, their net profit was approximately 5.4% higher than it is compared to now a year later. The earnings were released after the market closed, followed by a 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time conference call. As far as guidance, management maintained vehicle growth targets while increasing AI infrastructure investments. That 52-week high compared to today's closing of $374.01 represents a decline of 25.02% over a span of approximately 7 months. So if someone invested $1,000 in December at that 52-week high of $498.83, they would be seeing a loss of $250.20. Woo! We did that, guys. All right, now let's move on. Let's go here. All right, we good. And my lights are on. I was thinking to myself, did I put my lights on? Yes, I did. All right. So researching a company. Let's talk about why we visit these company websites. We're looking at the visuals and text to find answers to these key questions. What goods and or services does the company sell? How important are those goods and services to their customers? What makes this company stand out from the competition? And how well do they take care of their employees? Now, where we look, we search for those answers in 4 main areas. The homepage for the goods and or services, about us for purpose, vision, values, and mission statements, careers for employee benefits and opportunities, and investor relations for stock quotes, charts, and financial reports. And for your convenience, all companies featured in tonight's live stream are down in the description. Now let's go to Tesla's website. Here we go. Bam, bam, bam. Woo, there we go. All right, now turn this. Let's go. Make sure we're zoomed in. Yeah, guys, we're good. So let's browse over this. I don't see anything at the top that we need. So let's just go ahead and start our browsing. Model 3 full self-driving supervised. Look at this. Okay, so they have a video here we can check out. Makes every drive easier. Subscribe. Oh, that must be some extra feature you can get on the car. Talking about supervising your driving. They're watching what you got going on. Find your charging station. So they have a map here that breaks all that down. I'm sure they have an app that you can download that shows you where the charging stations are as well. Solar panels, power wall, mega pack, solar roof. So they have some other things going on besides just these cars. Now down here at the bottom, you know what? Nope, that's not where we need to go. Ooh, we gonna be digging around, guys. We're gonna be digging around. Here it is. It's under Discover at the top. So we're gonna go to About, Careers, and Investor Relations. That start with About. About us, building a world of amazing abundance. Got it. Over 100,000 employees, one mission. I think this has something to do with the environment, carbon monoxide, carbon emissions avoided in 2023. The future is sustainable. We're building a world powered by solar energy, running on batteries, and transported by electric vehicles. Got it. Power Earth. We design sustainable systems that are massively scalable, resulting in the greatest environmental benefit possible. Remember, links to these websites are down in the description if you want to browse this a little bit slower than how I'm going. What video is that? Make it ridiculously fun. Our vehicles are some of the safest in the world. After safety, our goal is to make every Tesla the most fun you could possibly have in a vehicle. I guess that's what the video entertainment thing, that's what they were showing. Okay, got it. The machine that builds the machine. To shift humanity away from fossil fuels, we need extreme scale. The Tesla team. Join us. Okay, so we went over that. Now let's go to careers. Let's see if we can find that again. I think it was under Discover. Yep. So here's careers. Let's go there. And then we'll go to investor relations. We are looking for the benefits, guys. Hopefully they will disclose it. Let us know what the benefits are. Careers. Build a world of amazing abundance. Stats again. One mission, over 150 teams, over 53 countries or 53 countries. Become part of our mission. Our mission is to build a world of amazing abundance. Our employees are driving that mission forward through their work in sustainable transport, renewable energy, robotics, and AI. Work on innovative products, robo-taxi, self-driving, supervised, and Optimus. Vehicle lineup. Those look like toy model cars. Those don't look like the real cars to me. Mega pack. All right. Featured departments, artificial intelligence, vehicle software, manufacturing, cell engineering, service. Got it. Life at Tesla. We are committed to attracting, developing, and investing in exceptional talent and supporting their growth regardless of their background. Learn more. There it is. Competitive benefits, but I think it's very vague, guys. Collaborative environment. Let's see, competitive benefits. We provide employees and their families benefits like medical, dental, vision coverage. Yeah, we might have to click on that to see if they go in a little bit deeper. Let's finish browsing over this and then we'll go up there and click on that section. Accelerate your career. Gain hands-on experience with our internship and career programs. Manufacturing development program, Tesla Start. Join us. Help us build a world of amazing abundance. All right, we're at the bottom. So we're going to go back up here to where it says learn more. Maybe they'll show more details about the benefits in here. Impact Report 2025. The future is abundant. Explore. Nah, doesn't look like it, guys. That was all they gave us about the benefits. So let's go over here to investor relations and we can get ready to go to the charts after this. So investor relations, SEC filings, looking to see, they don't say anything about the stock at the very top. Yeah, guys, it just looks like they give the reports. So you can download the press releases, the 10Qs, the 10Ks, listen to the webcast, Q&A. Yeah, I don't see the charts. They don't have the charts in the stock quote. So let's move on. Let me tell you what I got for you in my research about the company. So let's go here. We can leave that up and go here. So clients and partners. Tesla does have clients and partners that are listed in the S&P 500. Some notable names include PepsiCo Incorporated, ticker PEP, Ford Motor Company, ticker F, and PG&E Corporation, ticker PCG. All right, now I know I also mentioned that Ford was a competitor, but they work together and they compete with, selling electric vehicles. And then Pepsi is involved because they buy the electric Tesla trucks. And PG&E is an energy company, so they help power those plants and things like that. They help with the grids of the charging station. So sometimes I never explain that, but that's the extra information about that. Now, let's talk about this. Let's talk about the mobile limitations. Before we look at the charts, remember, professionals trade from a computer, not a mobile device. Mobile trading apps are limited and don't have all the features that are available on full trading platforms. Now, let's look at Tesla on the charts. Let's go. Here we go. Bam. And put their ticker back and put this here. Yeah. All right, guys, we got some levels on here already because I believe we've covered Tesla quite a few times. All right, so we are looking at a 1 year daily chart. No, we're not. Let me get my other mouse and let me get this together. This is a 10-year weekly. Let's go down to the smaller time frame. And let me take me off the screen. Here we go. We are looking at a 1 year daily chart. That information is right there. Here's the 52-week low, $297.82. Here is the 52-week high of $498.83. Let me remove that. And this was the decline I used earlier, so we don't need that. So let's remove this drawing, and then we're going to erase this. Nope. That's not what I'm trying to do. I want to erase. We can erase all of that because we're about to go to a higher time frame. So now let's go back and look at the 10-year weekly, which is where we were before. Here is their, let me show you, 10-year weekly. That's where we are right up there. That's the information. And here is 2016. So we are getting 10 years on this chart. They have a 10-year low of $11.80 and a 10-year high of $498.83. Now, let's talk about this. Guys, I got some stuff going on over here. Let me put me back on the screen and let me close this other program because it's bothering something. Task Manager. Got something popping up I don't need popping up. Let me remove it. I'll be with you in 1 second. Snag. That's what it is. Go here. In task. I'm waiting to verify that it closed. That's what I'm doing. In task. Got it. All right, so that should stop bothering me and being in my way. All right, we already have a lot of these levels already done. So what I do want to point out on this chart on the higher time frame before we go over to the 1 year daily chart is where the 9-week simple moving average is and where the 200-week simple moving average is. So the 9-week simple moving average is right here at $396.61. The 200-week simple moving average is at $282.87. Okay, so now let's go down to the lower time frame. So now we're back on the 1 year daily chart. And I am on the screen. Okay, so what I'm seeing, the price action is right here. Now let's talk about this first. It dropped after hours. So it closed at $374.01. They had their earnings announcement after the market closed, but it dropped after hours. So I want you to see where it's actually at right now. This is where it's trading at on the bid and ask. It's at $357. It's in that range right now. So to actually see that on the charts, we would have to go down to the minute intraday chart. So here it is. We are looking at a 5-day minute chart. This is the extended hour, so it's already showing versus me showing you how to get there, but I'm going to show you how we do this. So we go up here to the settings, and right here where it says equities, once it pull up, right down here where it says show extended hours trading session, if that was not selected, so I unselected it to show you how this would look, it would be missing. And we would just see this $374.01, which is right over here. So to add that back, we go to settings, go to equities. So check that box, show extended hours trading session, hit apply, and then we can see how it responded after the earnings were announced in after hours. Okay, so it reached a low of $353.23, and now it's trading at $357.31. That's what we got. Okay, so now let's go back to the higher time frame. $357.40. Yes, that's what it looks like. I was a little confused when I looked at it because I know it is supposed to be green with white text. You see how it's moving now? It said 357.40 and now it says 357.49. It has to look a certain way. And then we got another green because we have the 9-minute simple moving average on this chart, and the price is so close you would have to spread it out to see the different boxes. So the black text is the 9-minute simple moving average, and the actual price right now, see, now it's red. It's moving, guys, so it's gonna keep moving around. There it is. That's the 9. I got to spread it out. The 9 is at $357.30 on the minute chart. So that's the 9-minute simple moving average. All right, let's go back to the daily chart. And let's start looking at the technicals. Now, with the price action being around 357, I'm going to use these levels back here, guys. This is the level I'm seeing right here. I got to take me off the screen so you can see it. If we go back earlier in the year, these candles right here is what I'm using to get around that 355.70. And then we have some open. Let me zoom in. We have some closes, this wick here. The price is responding to that level right here. You also have a high, a low. So the most recent candles weren't as clean on that price level, but we have a few right there. We have a few there. So I'm seeing that as an area of support and resistance at $355.39. And the reason why I was a little clogged, like confused at first, is because we can't see that price level. And I have to keep in mind that normally when we do the technicals, this is where the price is right where it closed at. But because of the after hours action, I have to try to think about where the price is now. So we're using this historical price data from earlier in the year and this time frame right here in April to get that price level. Okay. So based on the price being in this zone right here around $57, I would see support at 355, and then the next support will be at 337. We got a bunch of levels here, so you can pick your poison. And then up here, that's the 200-day simple moving average at 415.96. And then here is your 9-day simple moving average at 387.51. So that's what I got for the technicals. And we can go ahead and move on. We can go ahead and do the stock quote for Tesla. So let's go up here to the settings, and then we can talk about the volume. Cut on the floating data box. So zoom in, let's zoom in, and take that off. Mouse over that. Okay. So Tesla opened today at $375.53. They had a high of $380.17. They had a low of $372.90. And they closed today at $374.01, which was a trading range of $7.27. Now, when we look at the volume, guys, the volume for today was at 30.6 million shares of this stock was traded today. Is that a big deal? Is it a little deal? We're about to figure that out right now. So let's cut off the floating data box, take me off the screen, and let's look at what the average trading volume is for Tesla in a daily trading session. The average trading volume is 69 million shares traded in a daily session. And today they did 30. They did 30 million. So that's less than half. Whew, yeah, that's low, guys. That's very low. And we about to see how low that is. That's even lower than yesterday, and yesterday was low. So here's Tuesday's candle right there, and they traded 32.7 million shares on Tuesday. Now let's pull up the volume percentile so we can break down exactly how low this is. So when we look at the volume percentile, guys, today's volume was only higher than 2.4% of the most recent 252 trading days volumes. To be more specific, out of 252 trading days, the most recent one's volume, only 6 of those days had lower volume than today. Insanely low. So tomorrow, you should see the market respond to those earnings, and Tesla should have significant volume tomorrow. Definitely above average. They should have above average volume tomorrow, especially if it ends up gapping down, because right now it's at that 557, which is definitely below that 374 where it closed at today, guys. Okay. All right. So let's move on. Let's go here. Bam, take that down. We go there. I should have pushed the other button first, but we're good. Here we go. Community support. Back to the community. I would appreciate it very much if you guys share the stream, hit the like button, subscribe, and if you wish to send a monetary gift to support the content, Cash App and PayPal links are down in the description as well as on the ticker of the screen. And it takes $10 to become the first sponsor of tonight's show. So there we go. Now, let's talk about the S&P 500 index. Okay, let's look at what the S&P 500 index did today by using the SPY ETF. This ETF gives investors an opportunity to participate in the broader US market by allowing them to own a percentage of each company in the S&P 500 index. Let's go back to the charts. Let's go. So we got bam, bam, bam. Take that off, and we doing the S&P SPY. All right, so go up here to our symbol box, SPY. Take me off the screen. So the SPY has a 52-week low. Let's verify this. Guys, we're looking at the SPY on a 1-year daily chart. They have a 52-week low of $619.29 and a 52-week high of $760.40. So there we go with that. Now let's put me back on the screen and let's zoom in where the current price action is. And guys, our levels are performing very well, because we can see that the price action is still responding to these levels we put on here a while ago. So we can see that today's high tested that $749.88 we've been looking at as resistance. And that's also near that psychological price level that we've discussed, those round numbers. So that's around right near that 750. So it's resistance. Mentally, we like, ooh, $750. It's like resistance for our human brain. We like, that's a round number. So also, I'm seeing resistance at the simple moving average. The 9-day simple moving average is at $749.17. And today they closed at 747.41. So they're still within this range for the last 2 days. Okay. So Wednesday, Tuesday, and then Monday, we have that. So this was Friday. So Friday was down in this range we were talking about. It opened up here. So let's talk about this. On Monday, it opened here in this range, but then it closed down here on Monday. And then on Tuesday, it gapped up into that upper range and got above that resistance. And then this resistance became support. And then it opened here, closed higher. And then today it opened lower than yesterday's close, but it had a higher high that pierced or went past the 9-day simple moving average. And it tested that area of resistance at 749.88 and fell back down a few dollars and closed at that 749. Okay, so now let's look at the volume. Let's look at how the volume performed. Okay, so let's cut on the floating data box after we do the quote. We're going to do the ETF quote first, and then we'll talk about the volume. So the SPY opened today at $746.62. They had a high of $750.02. They had a low of $746.37, and they closed today at $747.41. Now the volume, they traded 32.8 million shares of this ETF today. So what we're going to do, is that a big deal? Is it a little deal? We're about to find that out. So let's cut off the floating data box and let's go over here. Take me off the screen. I'm trying to drag it like that's going to move me. That's not going to move me. So let's go over here. So the average trading volume for the SPY in a daily trading session is 72.3 million shares. And today, guys, they did less than half. They did 32.8. And this volume for today, this candle right here, so today's candle had lower volume than yesterday's candle, coming in at 34.3. So this candle right here, this green candle for Tuesday, had more volume than today, but both of those days were below average when it comes to the volume. All right. Now, how low is that? Guys, it's significantly low for the SPY. And I'm about to show you why. When we look at the volume percentile, why did it move that all the way? Yeah, the volume percentile out of the most recent 252 trading days, guys, today's volume was only higher than 1.2% of those days. To be more exact, only 3 days out of the most recent 252 had lower volume than today. Okay, very low volume on the SPY. And it's been trading below the 9-day simple moving average for 5 trading sessions. Because we already verified this was like pennies below the 9-day simple moving average. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it has to get above that 9 to resume that uptrend, at least the short-term uptrend, because right now it's down. Okay. Or it seems like it's trade, like we zoom out, we too far in to say that's a downtrend. It looked like it's trading sideways, guys. Like we look at it this way, it looks like a pennant. That's an oval. That's not the shape I want. Give me a second. Now, I know I don't have that wick in here, but I'm using the majority of the bodies. You see what I'm saying? And then you have this flagpole. So to me, the majority of these bodies, I'm seeing them in a consolidation range. It's not uptrending or downtrending anymore. It's trading sideways to me. That's what I'm seeing. So if I take this off and I go here, now I put the box there, that's what I'm seeing. I view this part as like a pullback, but then it came back into this range. Okay. And it's still trading above the 200-day simple moving average. And it is below, let me zoom in because you can't see that other line. Oh, I hate when they do this. Those greens are the same, guys. They so close, you got to pay attention to them because I remember that from the last video. You see? So if you don't spread this out enough, you won't see it. So the 9 is at $749.17, and the actual closing price today is at $747.41. So now we can clearly see that it's trading below the 9. That's what I was looking for, and you couldn't see it without spreading the chart. All right, let's move on. Let's go here, here, and here, and take that off. Now, sector performance tracker. Time to follow the money. Let's look at each sector inside the S&P 500 index to see how they perform today. All right. So let's go back to this janky chart. It's been acting crazy. Let's go back to the chart. Here we go. Bam, bam. All right. Take that down. We pull up the ticker for that. Or no, the S&P 500 sector performance. So now let's change this over to sector performance tool. So we have that. And now we're just going to look at the performance for today. And let me see if my notes, and I already have the notes filled out, guys. So I'll pull those over in a second. But let's focus on what we got. So the SPY is down 0.1% today. Energy is up 1.2%. Materials, I'm gonna bring this over now and just downsize it because it's in the way. Materials is up 1.4%. Industrials is up 0.1%. Consumer discretionary is down 0.7%. Consumer staples is up 0.4%. Healthcare is down 0.5%. Financials is down 0.1%. Technology is down 0.3%. Communication services is down 0.8%. Utilities is up 2.3%. Real estate is down 0.4%. And it looks like the RSP is flat. So we can see that up here. So the RSP is actually down 0.03%. Okay, so we got that. Now let's look at our notes and let's look at our watch list. So now you can see the 2 decimal places over here. Let me pull up our notes. So now we can see it in order and we'll browse over these notes. So I already put this in here. So our top 3 gainers, guys, is utilities coming in at number 1, materials coming in at number 2, and energy coming in at number 3. Our biggest losers, I hope I said gainers, But our biggest losers, now we're focused on the losers, is communication services coming in at number 1, consumer discretionary coming in at number 2, and healthcare coming in at number 3. To be more specific with those 2 decimal places, you can look right up here to get a more specific number for those different sectors. Now we're going to use our notes to kind of track each sector to see how they've been moving this week since Monday. So we're going to go ahead and cut on highlight change to both. And now let's start going through these sectors. So the first sector we're going to look at is communication services. So they showed up as the second loser on Tuesday and the first loser, the number 1 loser today. Okay. Now, consumer discretionary, they came in as the second loser on Monday and the second loser today. Consumer staples, they came in as the number 1 loser on Tuesday. Energy, ooh, see, that's why I like this little tool, guys. Energy came in as a gainer all 3 days this week so far. So on Monday, they were the number 1 gainer. On Tuesday, they were the number 2 gainer. And today, they're the number 3 gainer. And as they've been gaining, even though they fell to number 3 today, every time they've gained, it's increasing. You see 0.5%, 1%, 1.2%. So we're going to see if it keeps that trend throughout the week. So now let's look at financials. Financials showed up as the 3rd gainer on Monday. Healthcare showed up as a gainer, the 3rd gainer on Tuesday, the 3rd loser today. Industrials, they came in as the 3rd loser on Monday. Information technology, they came in as the number 1 loser on Monday and the number 1 gainer on Tuesday. Let's peek over here and see what they did today. So they were red today as well, guys. They were down 0.28%. Even though they're not in the top 3 or top bottom, we can always peek over here if we're curious about a specific sector that we don't see show up in the top or the bottom, okay? So now let's look at materials. Materials showed up as the 2nd gainer today. And real estate showed up as the 3rd loser on Tuesday. All right, we got it, guys. Let's move on. Let's go here. Bam, 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 bam. Got it. Now, let's look at the S&P 500 biggest gainer and loser of the day. But first, we're going to look at the loser so we can end the night on a high note. All right. So let's go back to the charts. Bam, bam. Got it. All right. We got a lot of stuff to take off here, but we're going to do it. So collapse that. Change this to pro market close. Go over to the market watch. We already have the S&P 500 watch list pulled up. We got the right columns pulled up. Okay, so the biggest loser for today, guys, is GE Vernova Incorporated, ticker GEV, okay? And they lost 8.69% today. Their previous close was $1,078.81. And today they closed at $985.03. So let's pull out our calculator and do a hypothetical. Today, what we gonna do today? Let's use a weird number. Let's say $8,700. So if somebody invests $8,700 and they lost that 8.69%, we're going to multiply that 8.69. We're going to negate it, turn it into a decimal. So they would have lost $756.03. And if we add this back to the principal, the $8,700, they will be left with $7,943.97. Got it. Now let's go over to the Analyze tab. And we can see that GE Vernova is in the industrial sector. So we're going to see how that sector performed, the industry performed that GE Vernova is inside of, and the sub industry. Okay, so let's go over to the Market Watch tab. Then we go to the Visualize tab. Take me off the screen. We're looking for industrials. So industrials is right here, and we can see that bright red clear as day. So we're inside the industrial sector, and they are in the electrical equipment industry. So let's go in there and they are in the heavy electrical equipment sub industry. They're in a league of their own, guys. That's the only company over there in that sub industry. Okay. If we back out to electrical equipment, we can see these other companies in that industry. Okay. Now let's go back to the Analyze tab. And before we go to GE Vernova's website, we can see their company name. Here's a link to their website. It's also down in the description for your convenience. We're going to read a little bit of this and then we're going to go to their website. GE Vernova Incorporated, an energy company, engages in the provision of various products and services that generate, transfer, orchestrate, convert, and store electricity in the United States, Europe, Asia, the Middle East, and Africa. Okay, so let's put me back on the screen. Take that off, pull up their website. Bam. Guys, appreciate you guys for tuning in and sticking with me. Please hit that like button. It helps the channel out tremendously. And if you haven't done so already, consider subscribing to the channel. Definitely would appreciate it. All right. No, I don't want all of this. Let's see what it's going to do. Leave me alone. I hate when they put us through all that. All right, now let's look at the top. All right, businesses, news, invest. So I see investors. Stop moving. Investors, company, and forget it. I see investors, company, and careers. So we got everything we need at the top, but we're going to browse over the main page to see what we can find, okay? Second quarter 2026 earnings webcast. So I wonder if they had earnings today. We'll find out in a second. So feature stories, I believe they did. That's part of the reason they showed up on the biggest loser tonight. They had a lot of volume come in based off earnings. So we'll talk about that in a second. Our mission at GE Vernova, we are united by a single urgent and optimistic mission: electrify to thrive and decarbonize. The world needs us to accelerate the transition to more reliable, affordable, and sustainable energy. Together, we have the energy to change the world. All right, we're on the right percentage. Latest announcement: subscribe to the current and explore the latest news on electrification systems and software, energy generation technologies, and sustainability. Partner with us. Come bring the energy to change the world. We are approximately 85,000 strong across about 100 countries around the world. If you are ready to make a difference and usher in a new era of energy, come join us. All right, now we're at the bottom of the page, of course. So there is careers, about, and investors. So let's go to about. Quick links. Ooh, I'm so glad it stayed right on this part and didn't open up a different window. Let's make sure we still zoom where we need to be. Okay. A unified and powerful force. Our mission is clear: addressing the urgent need to build a more sustainable electric power system while improving the trajectory of climate change emissions are global priorities, and we take our responsibility seriously. Got it. Okay, now passionate individuals make up our unstoppable team. So that's some stats about the company. We are united by a single urgent optimistic mission: electrify. We read that already. Okay, impact sustainability report for 2025. Energy is the new innovation frontier. GE Vernova's global headquarters in Cambridge, Massachusetts. I believe that's Massachusetts. Reflects our commitment to operating at the center of a vibrant ecosystem defined by talent, innovation, and academic excellence. Come bring your energy to change the world. Got it. All right, so we went through that. That was about. So let's go to careers and see what we can find about the benefits. And if that wasn't the right state, guys, don't be quiet. Don't have me looking crazy. Go ahead and put it in the chat if that was the wrong state. But I believe that was Massachusetts. All right, so here we go. Why are they asking me about these cookies again? Option. I don't want none of them. I don't want none of them. I don't want it. All right, blow this back up. Make sure we zoomed in. There we go. The energy of change starts with you. Your purpose, our mission. GE Vernova is helping change the world. Are you thinking about what impact you'll leave behind? They talk about who we hire. I don't see anything about the benefits at the top. We probably have to click on who we hire, but let's browse over to see what we can find first. So here are the different departments within the company. Search all opportunities. Why join? They have a video there. This looks like testimonies of employees. Start here, go anywhere. Explore opportunities. Join our talent community. Hi, I'm Lumi. Yeah, Lumi, I read that right. Open jobs, so you can look based off location. Got it. Okay, guys, we're gonna click on who we hire and life at GE Vernova. That sounds like some of the places they would probably put the benefits. So let's see. Stop asking me my location. Saving the day every day. She looks serious. All right, ready for the next challenge. Guys, I'm browsing a little faster just to see if I see where it says benefits, because I want to move on. I want to go to investor relations and get to these charts. Okay, I don't see that. So let's go under life at GE Vernova. So they talk about the culture. Every action shapes our future. That's why our North Star is a culture of impact where everyone is empowered to thrive and achieve. Got it. The GE Vernova way, our purpose. Our purpose, the energy to change the world, defines what we do. Our GE Vernova way defines how we do it. Okay, those are the different values, I believe. Sustainability at GE Vernova. Empowered careers at GE Vernova. All right, don't see it. I think it's just some fair pay based on rewards. Keep you involved in sustainability stays and everything. Nope, don't see it, guys. I still don't see anything about the benefits. Yep, I'm ready to move on. All right, so we're going to investor relations, guys. So we're gonna close this out. I believe it's, we go here. Yep, okay. That boy hitting good. There we go, investors. There is stock information right here. You couldn't see it. It was right there. View stock details. So that's the link for that. Close this out. So let's scroll over this page, see what they have on the investor relations page. Sustainability at our core. Some stats about the company. Remember, links to this website is also down in the description for your convenience if you want to browse over the stuff yourself. So let me go ahead and jump back to the top, and we're going to click on stock details right there. Come on, don't let me down. There we go. All right, so they have the chart here, or the chart that they have available on their website. Here's a stock quote and some other tools for investors. Wonderful. I also found some interesting videos on YouTube that shows the equipment that they use. It's a natural gas powered turbine that produces electricity. It was a really cool video. Matter of fact, let me see if I can pull it up so I can actually show you what it looks like. And then I'll read what I found in my research about the company, because that's one of the things I had found when I was researching it. All right, so we got the sponsor there. We got that up. So let me go to YouTube. We're gonna minimize this. YouTube. And usually I don't play videos, but I think this will be really cool to see. This will add a visual, because I didn't even see, we were browsing kind of fast, but I didn't see that turbine on their website when we were looking over it. Okay. So I'm gonna blow this up so you can see it. I'm gonna mute it, and I'll just let you see it. All right, so put it back over here. Yeah, you can see it. I'm gonna blow this up. The title of the video is right there at the top. Okay, so you can search that on your own. But this is one of their products. This is a natural gas powered turbine. It looked really cool. So they break down how it works. And since they're a energy company, and you know we got all this stuff with AI and data centers and clean energy and powering things and different systems, and so this is what they do. So that's that. You can watch this video, and that's the name of it. Okay, got it. Now let's talk about what I found in my research about the company. Go here. Got it. So GE Vernova Incorporated, ticker GEV. When it comes to their goods and services, they manage electric power and energy infrastructure operations across the power, wind, and electrification markets, offering solutions such as, number one, complete power generation systems like gas turbines and nuclear power for utility providers. Number two, scalable renewable energy products, including onshore and offshore wind turbines for energy developers. And number three, optimized electrification systems tailored for grid transmission, solar storage, and data centers. I got it. Got it. Now let's talk about looking at their S&P 500 clients and partners. Notable names include Next Era Energy Incorporated, ticker NEE. Southern Company, ticker SO, and Duke Energy Corporation, ticker DUK. All right, now let's go back to the charts. So we got BAM, BAM, and we already have their ticker up. All right, now charts. Zoom out. We are zoomed out. Oh, I know what we're looking at. That's a higher time frame. Let's remove this drawing right there and take me off the screen so you can see everything. Boy, I got two mice there everywhere. Two mouses. Two mice. All right, so we are looking at a 1 year daily chart, guys. 1 year daily chart. Here is their 52-week low of $530.16. Here is their 52-week high of $1,195.94. What just happened? Let's undo that. Put it back. There we go. And let me say this again, because I feel like I said 5 year. 52-week low of $530.16 and their 52-week high of $1,195.94. Now let's talk about the earnings, because I think they had earnings today. So I'll mouse over that. Today's date, 22nd. Yep, they definitely had earnings today, and it was announced before the market opened. What time do they have? That don't look like the right time. They don't do that at that time. But it looks like it was announced before the market opened. That could be a glitch on the website, because sometimes they show the wrong time if it's not updated. Okay, so let's go over to the higher time frame. So we're looking at a 10-year weekly chart. Give me a second, because you like, that ain't 10 years. Give me 1 second. This is a 10-year weekly chart. That's what we pulled up, but it only goes back to 2024. So we're looking at about 2 years. We're looking at about 3 years. Two, is that half? Yeah, it looked like half and half. About a little shot in 3 years. All right, that's what we're looking at. So we have a 3-year low of $115 and a 3-year high of $1,195.94, which is also the 52-week high. Ooh, that's a nice little growth right there. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and pull up this trend line tool and see what type of percentage gain that is from that 52-week low to that, not 52-week low, this 3-year low to this 3-year high. Guys, that's over a 939% return. Wow. In a little under under 3 years. Wow. All right. Now, let's do some technicals. We can use this higher time frame. Put me back on the screen. Take these boxes off and we can remove that drawing. And let me get this right here. Yeah, that right there, 985.03. That's not that much less than the other line above it, but that's what I got. When we look on the lower time frame on the 1 year daily chart, we'll see why I have that 1016 there. If we don't, then I'll remove it. Now I would say right here. Okay, that gets a few of those weeks. So that's going to be the open, that's going to be on the wick, that's going to be on the open, that's going to be near the close, and it caught that wick there. So those are the areas of support on the weekly chart I'm seeing. And then we have the 9-week simple moving average at $1,027.23. The 200-week simple moving average is not on the chart because it hasn't been enough weeks for that line to start forming yet. Okay, so that's why that's not there. Now let's move on to the lower time frame. Yep, now I can see why we have those other levels there. We were using the wicks of this candle over here and over there. Yep, that was before these formed. That price level of $1,016, we had that because of the consolidation over here. Okay, so we had a gap over there that was filled. Let me pull this down. I am on the screen, so let's space this out. So one of the first things I'm seeing over here that's standing out to me, guys, a gap down. So let's identify this gap. So open up the rectangle tool, connect, edit properties, turn it yellow. We know that that's a gap on our charts. Then we go over here to December 1st. Just take it out. Give us some time. I'm gonna put these price levels here so it'll be easy to identify the top and bottom of See, that's bunching it up. We have to spread the chart so much to make it where we can see all of that stuff. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove this one. So remove drawing. And I'll just open up this edit property so you can see this is the top of that gap and this is the bottom of the gap. So you can see it. All right. So we got that. Now, let's see if I'm seeing any levels, any other levels over here. I'm seeing this as potential resistance. This gets 3 candles with that. So that's $1,178.20 with that. And with the price action being down here, because it closed right here today, right here on the bottom of that candle. Now, if it doesn't hold that support at $985.03, what would be the next level of support? Well, they made it easy, guys. This gap right here. So we got another gap down here. We're going to make that yellow, extend that over to December and put our price levels there. They made that easy. That put a smile on my face. There we go. Get the price levels. Boom. Boom. So you got 2 levels of support because of that gap. So you got 957.36 and 943.68. And then we have this weekly price level of $865.69 down there. And we actually have a 200-day simple moving average. So that's at 823.79. And then our 9-day simple moving average is at $1,054.73. So those are our technicals. Let's zoom in and then we can get the stock quote for GE Vernova. That is not what we need right now. We need this. We need to zoom in. There we go. We don't need to be that big. Let's spread it out. Bam, bam. No, what are you doing? Here we go. Bring that over, spread it out, drag it over. There we go. All right, now let's pull up our floating data box and get the stock quote. Now, GE Vernova opened today at $1,021.01. They had a high of $1,038.98. They had a low of $985.03. And they closed today at $985.03. Time for me to show off my technical analysis skills from reading these books, because this is rare. But that's a shaving bottom, guys. When the close on a red candle and the low, now I'm saying a red candle because the close will be at the bottom on a red candle, and the low are the same, they call that a shaving bottom. If it was on the top where the high and the open was at the same price, it would be called a shaving head. So here's a shaving bottom. And that's also called a belt hold, if I'm not mistaken. And that was something that I had read today. A belt hold. But look it up. Just double check behind what I said, so you can learn those terms too. Okay, so did we read everything? Yeah, I stopped though. So the trading range for today was $53.95. And the volume, they traded 4.9 million shares of this stock today. And what that tells me, guys, is that their average trading volume is probably around 3 million or less. I wouldn't be surprised if it's 1 million, because they responded to earnings today, and usually you see a spike in volume based off that. So let's find out what their average volume is. So let's take off the floating data box, take me off the screen, and let's go over here and look. So the average trading volume for GE Vernova in a daily trading session is 2.9 million shares. And today they traded 4.9. So that's definitely above average. And then on Tuesday, they traded 3.5 million, which was also above average. So we saw volume increasing from Tuesday to Wednesday. And then they had earnings today and they gapped down. So that makes a lot of sense about the increase in volume. Okay, so put me back on the screen and let's talk about the volume percentile. So out of the most recent 252 trading days, today's volume was higher than 95.2% of those days. Another way to be more specific, only 12 days out of those 252 days had higher volume than today. Bam, we're good. Now we can go ahead and move on to the biggest loser Let's go to the biggest. No, we just did the loser. We're about to do the biggest gainer, guys. The biggest gainer. Let's go over here to the charts. Market watch. Go back to S&P 500. Go to the quotes. Change this to the gainers. There we go. Ooh, wee, guys. The biggest gainer for today is SMCI Supermicro Computer Incorporated. Ticker SMCI. I said it twice. So nice I said it twice. Yes, I did. All right, now, they gained 19.84% today. They had a previous close of $25.50. They closed today at $30.56. Guys, it's earnings season, okay? And we'll talk about that in a second. Let's do a hypothetical. What number did we use? I'll see it. We use 8,700. So if somebody invested $8,700 and they got that 19.84% gain, we turn it to a decimal, they would have gained $1,726.08 on top of their $8,700 investment, which was the principal. So the total investment would have grown to $10,426.08. We did that. Now let's go over here to the Analyze tab after we select Supermicro. And we can see that SMCI is in the information technology sector. So we're going to see how that sector performed, how the industry performed that SMC is inside of, and the sub industry. Okay. So let's go over here to the Market Watch tab and let's go to the Visualize tab. Now, SMCI is in the information technology sector. Their market cap is very small compared to some of these other companies. So I know exactly where it is, or I have an idea where it is. It is in the, I said I had an idea where it was and then had a brain fart, didn't I? Right here in the technology, hardware, storage, and peripherals. Yes, that's where it is. Okay. So Apple is red. They have a large market cap. They take up a lot of space over here. But if we look at the other companies, all of those are green. And SMCI has the smallest market cap out of all of these companies. So that's why it's so small, guys. It's all the way down here in the corner. So the industry is technology, hardware, storage, and peripherals inside the information technology sector. And the sub industry is the same thing: technology, hardware, storage, and peripherals. Okay. And there's SMCI. Let me take this stuff off the screen because you can't see it because of that. So there it is. You can see our market cap, and you can see the next largest market cap right next to it, HP Incorporated. All right. So we saw how that industry performed, that sub industry performed, and this is how information technology performed. I see a lot of red over here in the software. Everything was red in software today, guys. Ooh wee. Apple it's one company. Even though it take up a lot of red, that's one company. And then it looks like you got a lot of red in electronic equipment, IT services. Yeah. But they did pretty well in the storage, technology, hardware, storage, and peripherals and semiconductors today. It looks like Intel and Micron were the only ones. You can't see it. Intel and Micron was the only ones that was red over here in the semiconductors and semiconductor equipment. Okay, let's go back to Analyze. And I can put this back on the screen. So here is Supermicro Computer Incorporated, the company name. Here's the website. Link to the website is also down in the description. Supermicro Computer Incorporated, together with its subsidiaries, develops and sells server and storage solutions based on modular and open standard architecture in the United States, Asia, Europe, and internationally, guys. Got it. Let's go to their website. Put me back on the screen. Take that down. Here is their website right there. Got it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and hanging out with me tonight. Please hit that like button. It helps out tremendously. And if you haven't done so already, consider subscribing to the channel. Thanks in advance. All right. So right here at the top, we're going to go to company. There's careers, there's about us, and there's investor relations. They made it easy, guys. Let's scroll over this homepage and then we'll get to clicking. So Supermicro, ready to deploy Gold Series servers. Data center building block solutions, DCBBS, accelerated time to deployment and reduced time to online for AI data centers. That's some of the things, some of their goods, building blocks, DCBBS Premier, services, support, and software. Ooh, that's a lot of different stuff. Okay, we're at the bottom. So let's go to company and let's go to, come on, company, about us. There we go. Are we zoomed in where we need to be? Yeah, my mouth is dry. Give me a second, guys. Okay. The key to success in technology is designing a company around people committed to work that they love. Charles Lane, CEO. All right, first to market innovation, total solutions. We keep it green. US-based engineering and manufacturing. Corporate overview, fastest growing provider of service, storage, and networking solutions. Founded and headquartered in the USA, global operations in over 100 companies. 22 billion in revenue in 2025. Fortune 500 ranked among, which we know because we look at S&P 500 companies. All right, we keep it green. We talked about that leadership. All right, we're through that. We got through it. Company profile. Go to careers. Let's go to careers. We're in careers. Want to find out about the benefits, guys. Accelerate your career. Supermicro is listed on the Fortune 500 magazine's list of largest U.S. corporations and is on the Standard & Poor's S&P 500 index, which tracks 500 of the most valuable companies traded in the U.S. stock exchanges. Got it. What it means to work here. Supermicro employees take pride in contributing to the AI revolution and supporting our customers while simultaneously leveraging our green computing initiative to reduce our carbon footprint on Mother Earth. What our values are, what makes us unique. World-class culture and benefits. Thank you, they told us. All right, so we'll click on that in a second. Accelerate diversity, Supermicro, careers at Supermicro, America jobs, EMEA jobs. Oh man, I knew what that stood for. There it is. Europe, Middle East, and Africa. I'm glad they put it right there. That's what EMEA stands for, guys. Europe, Middle East, and Africa. APAC jobs, green computing, event spotlight. Got it. All right, now let's go to benefits. Oh yeah, I remember this when we gonna feed you. That's the first thing they show. All right, take me off the screen. Here we go. Explore our benefits. Your talent drives Supermicro's success and makes this a great place to work. We provide comprehensive benefits from day one for eligible employees, their dependents, and domestic partners. So guys, they give a great summary right here. On-site cafeteria. We even make sure you eat. Yeah. So we got all of that information there. You can check that out. Remember, links are down in the description for your convenience. All right, I almost clicked off of this. Now we need to go to, we are already there. Now we need to go to investor relations. So here we go. And they're taking us to a different website. Blow this up. Make sure we zoomed in. We're good. Here's the stock information over here. But you know how we do. We scroll over the page first, and then we start clicking for the stock quotes and the chart. So right up here, stock information, stock details. There's the stock quote. There's the chart. Hey, I'm loving the fact that this stuff is popping up quickly tonight. It's not giving us a hard time. And there are some other tools that are available for investors on the website. Now let's go here and let's talk about what I found in my research about the company. So Supermicro Computer Incorporated, ticker SMCI. When it comes to their goods and services, they manage high-performance server and storage infrastructure operations across the enterprise data center, cloud computing, and artificial intelligence markets, offering solutions such as, number one, complete AI rack scale options, including GPU servers and liquid cooling systems for enterprise data centers. Number two, scalable cloud infrastructure products, including high-density servers, storage arrays, and motherboards for cloud service providers. And number three, optimized edge computing systems tailored for 5G networking, IoT deployments, and industrial automation. Looking at their S&P 500 clients and partners, notable names include NVIDIA Corporation, ticker NVDA, Advanced Micro Devices Incorporated, ticker AMD, and Intel Corporation, ticker INTC. All right, now let's go to the charts. Here we go. Bam, bam. We already had a gainer up. Yeah, we good. Yeah, we're good. We are good. Now let's go over to them charts. And we are looking at a 1 year daily chart. The SMCI, here's their 52-week high of $62.36. Their 52-week high is $62.36. Their 52-week low is $19.48. All right. We've looked at them a few times, and I've actually traded and looked at this company prior to us doing these live streams. So we have some things on here already. Now, let's go ahead and look to the higher time frame. And we are looking at a 10-year weekly chart. It does go back to 2016. Here's the 10-year weekly chart, so we know what we're looking at. Here is the 10-year low of 85 cents. Can you believe it? 85 cents, 10-year high of $122.90. Crazy business. And they did a 10-for-1 stock split in the week of September 23rd, 2024. All right, now let's come back down to the lower time frame. So we're looking at the 1-year daily chart, and let's focus on where we are right now, guys. Okay, we still have a gap that hasn't been filled yet, and now we have a new gap. So let me put me on the screen. I like when these gaps happen because they make this easier for me to do this technical analysis. So let's go ahead and identify this gap. The high of yesterday, the low of today, edit properties, turn this yellow. And then we're going to extend this over to December 1st. And we're about to be done, actually, because we got a lot of these levels already done. So hang tight. Hang tight. So we can go ahead and put the price level at the bottom. I'm going to leave that zone there because I don't want to forget that it was respecting that price level there. And so actually, when it gapped up, it gapped above that zone of resistance that we had there. And then the wick was able to get up and pierce this area of resistance at $31, this level of resistance at $31.12, but it wasn't able to close above it. So what it did, it gapped up above the 9-day simple moving average, above this area of resistance that we had. Let me open up this box so you can see edit properties, rectangle. So here is the bottom of that resistance zone, and here's the top of that resistance zone. So it gapped above that, tested the resistance at $31.12, but it wasn't able to close above it. So now it's trading above the 9-day simple moving average. That is at $26.58. The 200-day simple moving average is at $33.70. And those are my other levels of resistance. $33.64, $34.94, and $37.91, because we had a gap up here as well, because part of the gap was closed, but it hasn't been closed all of the way. And I'll open up that so you can see what those levels are. So the bottom of that gap is at $36.80. The top is at $38.04. Got it. Like I said, guys, those are technicals. So now we can just do our quote. Let's get our stock quote for SMCI. Yeah. All right. So SMCI opened today at $28.89. They had a high of $32.28. They had a low of $28.50. And they closed today at $30.56, which was a trading range of $3.78. Now, crazy volume it looked like. How crazy. They traded 163 million shares of this stock today. Is that a big deal? We about to find out. So let's cut off the floating data box, take me off the screen, and let's look at what the average trading volume is for SMCI in a daily trading session. Guys, the regular trading volume is 37.4 million. They did 130 million more than what they do on average. That was a rough estimate, by the way, but definitely more. That's very, very, very high. It's definitely above average, what I'm telling you. That's what I'm saying. So now when we get here, this was Tuesday's day. Here's the volume for Tuesday. They did 51 million shares the day before the earnings were announced. And I believe, no. Wait a minute. Something's going on. I could have sworn why is the earnings back here? So they didn't announce earnings today? That has some type of catalyst? This is something in the news, guys. Bear with me, because I thought they had earnings today. Supermicro service now, Supermicro computer stock rise 18. Here it is. All right. So this is an AI article. They warn you about that. So let's see what's going on here. Shares of Supermicro computer surged today 19.8% to $30.56 on what proved to be an all-around grim trading session for the stock market, with the Dow Jones Industrial Average remaining No. What was the reason? See, I hate when they do news like that. That didn't explain the story about why it happened. Forecast seen as a good sign for Dell. So I did talk about that. Sector exit. You know what? They didn't have earnings today. So I want to know what was the news behind SMCI making a move like that with no earnings. Because it looks like their earnings is scheduled for August 11th. And another way to verify that, we can go to the calendar. And right up here where it says S&P 500, so you guys are learning something else. We was about to wrap the show up. So up here, SMCI. So when I put them in and I have earnings selected, remember it's not in July. So we changed this to August. And it's saying that it's on August 11th. So yeah, whatever happened today, it wasn't based off earnings. I thought they had earnings today because I was saying it was earnings season. That's what I was talking about. I thought that all three companies we were covering today had a move based off the fact they had earnings, and that wasn't the case. So even without earnings, they did crazy volume today. That is nuts. All right, so we at least know that based off what we just found out. So out of the most recent 252 trading days, guys, today's volume was higher than 98.8% of those trading days. So another way to be exact, only 3 of those days had higher volume than today. That's how significant the volume was. Crazy. All right. So we talked about the volume. We did our technicals. We covered all that. Guys, we done. We can move on. We can go here. We can get ready to wrap it up. Yes, we can. Here. Bam. Yep. All right. You already know. I hope that you learned something and I hope that you earned something. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. This Sunday, July 26th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, we're reviewing this week's biggest gainers and losers, market sentiment, market volatility, S&P 500 sector performance, and creating a watch list for upcoming earnings. And make sure you keep tuning in weekdays following our market trading session at 11 p.m. Eastern Time. Take care and God bless.